The country, we are the last line of defense. The Coast Guard is the last line of defense, and the nation's done a great job, and the Department of Homeland Security has, with airports. Up until today, I presume we'll have TSA screeners everywhere. The cities are safer. We're much safer in airports than we were, regardless, whether it's because of TSA or whatever. We're safer. We're certainly paying more attention to potential calamities taking place. But I am convinced and remain convinced the next attack, the easiest prey, are the ports of the United States. And we're not protected. We're not. We need really more emphasis placed on our last line of defense or our ports. We need to really focus on how to do that, not just providing the authorities, but actually providing resources and people and money. Because when you think about it, and you take a look at the great United States, we contain 3.36 million miles of water, 95,000 square miles of coastline. 95% of foreign trade is through our ports. 95%. Estimated to be $1 trillion a year. If you're a terrorist and you're looking at that, you're saying that has a major impact. Again, the MO of Al-Qaeda 1.0 was major attacks. We're thinking 2.0 is smaller, more isolated attacks and disruption of regional areas. But I think that they are looking at this, and we know they're monitoring this, and we are vulnerable. It's just a reality. The United States is vulnerable at our ports. And why do I say that? Although we have great authorities, the Coast Guard, the people in charge of your ports and guarding the coast and the coastline, has 40,000 men and women, as of today, probably less. That's the same as the amount of New York City police officers. I go back again, 95,000 square miles of coastline, and the same number of Coast Guard men and women as the New York City Police Department. That has to change. The world is changing. We have to adapt and recognize that we need more resources and more money going to the Coast Guard to help us. Again, post 9/11, the Congress has been right with us, has been strongly supportive, have given the captains of the port in these ports enormous broad authorities, some extending onto the land, actually. We've placed Coast Guard officers overseas because one of the worst things we were doing was allowing the shipping. We can't wait to inspect a cargo unit after it's already hit the Port of Baltimore or Port of Los Angeles and explodes. We're trying to hit them in the ports of embarkation. So we actually have Coast Guard officers overseas in ports before the containers go onto the vessels, inspecting them to ensure there isn't any sort of problems with them. And that's really through the great work of the State Department allowing us to have that opportunities. We require vessels now coming in to have 96 hours notice of arrival so that we have extra time to prepare and actually monitor who they're from, where they're from, what they have on board, and who's sailing the vessel and who's supporting them. And I think, very importantly, we also change